select your character.
What's cracking with you people? This is the Devious Wolf, and welcome back to another episode of the Sonic Adventure DX Let's Play. In the last one, we finished Amy's story. Probably the slowest character in the game, and a character whose importance is debatable as to where it's enough for her to be a playable character in the game, but not enough to where it's necessary. Now there's something that I did forget to do in the last episode. Couldn't really do it since it'd be a little awkward to put it on. And I'm probably gonna end up showing it off in a bonus episode so everybody knows how to get it. But Amy has one more power up that we didn't get to, because the moment we got to the egg carrier, and I don't know if this is a DX XBLA PSN download thing, but it just kind of threw us into a cutscene. Usually you have to jump up onto the egg carrier, onto the battle arena where you fought Chaos 6 and Zero. Usually you have to jump onto that battle arena to initiate that fight with Zero as Amy. Now I don't know if they've changed this or if it's just the way I got there, but I wasn't able to go into the egg carrier and go back to the Whack-a-Hedgehog minigame, because if you go back there and if you beat the score again, or if you get a new high score, it's either you have to beat your old high score or exceed 4,000. You get another power up, and it's called the Long Hammer. It's essentially a longer hammer. You jump higher when you run into the hammer hit somersault thing, then you have more distance. That's about it. Now, moving on from a character whose relevance is debatable to a character whose relevance has pretty much been universally admitted as unnecessary, Big the Freaking Cat, as played by John St. John. That's right, this guy is played by Duke Freaking Nukem.
Hold on, Froggy, I'm coming! What? Froggy, is that you? You're looking kinda weird, good buddy. What's up with the tail? Hey, wait a minute! You swallowed my lucky charm! Come back here! What's wrong with you? Something's not right. We've always been friends. For years. Froggy! Wait up! Oh dear. Doggy! Come out wherever you are! Oh man, where could my Pollywog pal be anyway?
Yeah! That was Duke freaking Nukem. Anyway. Now, Big is a very interesting case. Now that's just racist. But yeah, Big is a very interesting case. Case.
Eggman!
He, in terms of his story,
Quick! We have to find the rest of the missing Chaos Emeralds!
his story takes place probably the second earliest in the entire game. Like, his story starts right after Knuckles' does, and Knuckles' story is pretty much the beginning of the entire storyline. And I don't know why he was included, because also if you go back here, you find one of his mini power-ups, a fishing lure. Don't even get no special text for it, it's just there. Now it does make an aesthetic change, as you can see there's a different one on the line. You get more lure to let you catch bigger fish. Big is sporting the most power-ups in the game. Most characters have, if not all the characters, on average, have between 2 to 3 power-ups per game. 2 to 3 power-ups. The only exception being, I think, Sonic, who has 3. Most characters have 2. Big has 7. Only 2 of them are mandatory. Yeah. But Big's character was created for, and I quote, if I remember correctly, the purpose of his existence is that Sega wanted a character who wasn't in a rush. That's why his theme song is Lazy Days, Living in Paradise. Pretty wild tune, honestly, and it's probably the most 90s song I've ever heard in my life.
Doggy, there you are. Wait, don't run away. What you doing under that car? What's wrong?
Now, usually we go after the frog, but I want to look around and see if there's any special dialogue with Big, because most times it's not really that. Because for the most part, dialogue doesn't really change too much, it's just character-specific stuff. That's why I haven't shown off most of it. I've pretty much shown off the basic gist, you know, the one side plot with the lady and the dude in the shop over here. That's about it. But am I so big that I really can't? Wow, Big is so big he cannot. But yeah, there really isn't much difference with most of the dialogue. I just want to show off the main story ones. There's just a side story going on. They kind of show that it has a little bit of something going on there. Now we pick this up here, and now we're in the sewer. Now, Big is only now if I remember correctly, Big the Cat himself has been in about 5 or 6 Sonic games since this one. He's only been playable in 2. One of which was Sonic Heroes. And the other one being, obviously, this game. That's because people hated his gimmick. People hated his gimmick, and as you can tell by the fishing line, his gimmick was fishing. Now, up until this point, I've pretty much said I didn't really mind the characters that they decided to use and the gameplay they wanted to go for each character, and I still stand by that, even with Big the Cat. But even I have to admit, what was the point of that? Now, for context, at the time of this game's release, its original release in '98, the Dreamcast had two very popular games: the launch title of Sonic Adventure and Sega Bass Pro Fishing. Legitimately, the only reason I can think we have Big right now is because Sega Bass Pro Fishing, it was some kind of bass fishing, was doing so well. Also, you whack guys with your fishing rod, they blow up. It was doing so well that they wanted to market it everywhere. Now the gimmick is that, I can't remember how you do it. That's the attack button. Where is the where's the thing? I need to remember how you do this, because I do not remember how you do this. It's been so long. It's honestly been a really long time since I actually played this that I really don't remember. There you go. If I gotta hold it down, I guess you gotta be at the edge of the water and holding down the button. What you're gonna do is, if you look in the reticle there, you can see Froggy. We gotta fish him out. I did not cast it far enough. Now, as you can tell, I have not played Sega Bass Pro Fishing, or if I have, I don't remember playing it for very long. But the gist is, you cast your line out, you catch a fish, that's about it. If you reel in with the A button, you reel faster. If you use the B or X button on the Xbox 360, square and circle buttons, I would assume on the PS4, you will you will reel slower. Come on now. Come on now, you stupid frog.
Something's biting.
Got him. So now, as you can kind of tell by the meter down there on the right, you want to reel him in, but you don't want to reel too hard or else you risk breaking the line. Now, as you saw, that's having a bit of problems getting him to actually hook. What you want to do is you want to move the analog stick, and you will as you do in real life fishing, you yank the line back, you hook the fish, and then you start reeling it from there. Problem is that when you move the lure of the analog stick, you also move the camera, and it can be kind of awkward. Also, at the end of every single level you catch Froggy, Big the Cat somehow loses the freaking frog.
Welcome to Twinkle Park.
Hence why he spazzes out like a numbskull at the end of it. It's honestly one of the more mind-boggling things inside this game, I'm not going to lie. So as you can tell by that little thing, we are now going to go to Ice Cap. Hooray! Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. While Big the Cat has 7, and I repeat, 7 power-ups in this game, 5 of which are lure power-ups, I've never gotten them all. I've only gotten the lure power-up inside the sewer, and the 2 mandatory power-ups that you find. I have never bothered to get them all because you don't really need them for the main game. You probably need them for the trials, which I would not be surprised considering that the trials wouldn't, because trial mode is pretty much testing how you play the game. Can you play fast? Can you find? Can you get to the goal going fast? Can you do X amount of things? That kind of thing. I'm more than willing to bet that a good portion of Big the Cats are catch this amount of fish. What in blazes are you doing? This ain't no Legend of Zelda, fool! Put that thing down and get your butt moving. Stupid cat. Now the thing to note is that I think I was on the thing where I said Big the Cat was one of the more hated characters in the Sonic franchise, just because his gameplay in Adventure literally made little sense. it doesn't make any amount of sense. Now, I don't hate Bit the Cat as a character. I really don't. I've seen much worse. I'm not going to lie. I've seen much worse in terms of characters. Big is harmless at best. Big is harmless at worst. Now, also you go over here, you get his first mandatory power up.
You've discovered the life belt. It keeps you afloat when you're in water. To swim underwater, press the jump button when afloat.
Now, I'm going to let you guys know up front, this next level, and I don't think we've had this happen yet. Oh, also, Bit the Cat needs this thing to float, but it lets him float in, it lets him fish in water, which does come in handy, admittedly. Now, this next level does have a fishing lure upgrade in it. I will show you where to get it. I will try to get it, but I make no guarantees. Now, there's something interesting about Bit the Cat. You think he'd be a really slow character, but let's watch him climb a ladder. Fastest ladder climber ever. But yeah, Bit the Cat is rather infamous in the Sonic community for being, I don't know what, honestly. I know people don't like him. Also, here, pick up this rock and throw it over here, and you find where Froggy is. Froggy's literally down here. Like, I'm gonna show this off. You go down here, you see? He's right there with his weird hammerhead shark. But he's honestly not that bad. But as a result, they took him out of subsequent games. He didn't appear in the game until Sonic. He didn't appear playable until Sonic Heroes, but he did make several cameo appearances. That's because his creator, I forget what his name is. I'm going to have to look that up, I will admit. Found the backlash against it to be so ridiculous that he, for lack of a better term, just... Oh. That's right, you gotta go here. So you gotta do this right here, and then you're out. But he found the backlash to be a little bit much, so he figured, well, I'm just going to put him in wherever I can put him in. And then afterwards, Bit the Cat appeared in several spots as a cameo character. If you look in the backgrounds of the games, such as, I believe, Sonic Adventure 2, I believe it's Adventure 2 Battle specifically, but in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic and the Secret Rings, and there's one other I want to say, but for the life of me, I do not remember. It'll come back to me. Also, here's his lore power-up. Thank you, but I need to move because Bit the Cat can't breathe in the water. But yeah, he appears as a cameo character, which honestly I don't mind. I think it's kind of funny that that he kind of appears in that capacity. But beyond that, he's not really very well liked. Now, I know what you guys be thinking. Well, now that you're over here, you can't really get the frog anymore. Actually, no. Froggy moves. If I remember correctly, Froggy does indeed move. If I can go over here, I think. Actually, no, I don't. Actually, no, I take that back. They might have changed that inside this game. Well, either way, let's head back and let's cast a frog and get out of here. But yeah, he's not very well liked, and aside from being voiced by Duke freaking Nukem, which still baffles me to this day, he just kind of appears as this random kind of oddity, and I don't really know why. It's definitely one of the stranger things in terms of video games, if you ask me, but what are you gonna do? Now we're gonna catch Froggy here, if I can get the thing to move. And And honestly, this is probably the one case where I think the controls for Sonic Adventure are horrible. And it's not even a gameplay that a lot of people even like. I mean, if it's... I could see if it was like Knuckles or Amy that had like horrible controls, but no. Big the Cat has the worst controls, and I think that's probably the main reason why people don't like him. His gameplay doesn't seem all that necessary. He adds literally nothing to the story. Like, spoiler, his story mode, I'm going to spoil it right now, his story mode adds nothing to the overall plot of Sonic Adventure at all. You could have just as easily left him out and they could have done this plot line and left him out. I'm not kidding.